In our last video, we talked about the 5 reasons your lead conversion sucks and why you're not converting leads successfully. Today, I want to take that a whole step further and I want to talk about some conversation framework, give you a better idea of how you can best mirror and match the people you're talking to. Ultimately, you'll end up in better rapport, and because of that, you'll set more appointments and sell more houses. Sound good? Let's jump into it. My name is Mike Novak. I'm a real estate agent for the Novak real estate team right here in Everett, Washington. We are part of Real Brokerage. We came to Real Brokerage back in 2021 when we just had 2,000 agents. We now have close to 15,000 agents as of the shooting of this video, February 2023. It's been one of the best decisions we've ever made in our lives. If you're considering a brokerage change, if you want to know more about Real, reach out to me. All my contact information is down below, and I'll be happy to share with you the good, the bad, the ugly, everything you want to know about it. Make sure you understand the model so you can possibly evaluate if it's a good decision for you as well. But enough of that, let's jump right into this, okay? So mirror and match, this is a subject I'm passionate about. So many people, so many lead converters, ISAs and agents really don't think about mirror and match. They just get on the phone and they talk to everyone the exact same. And they think they're being their authentic self, which is cool. Like, I love you being you, that's great. I don't want you to be a robot, but there are certain strategies that you can and should be using to get in better rapport with people. And when you get in better rapport, like I said earlier, you're going to have better outcomes and you're gonna sell more houses. But you have to understand what this looks like. What does mirror match look like when you're talking to people? And today, I'm mostly talking about the lead conversion side of it, getting people face-to-face for an appointment. There's a whole nother realm to this conversation when you're face-to-face with people. Mirror match starts to take on the shape of body language, of where my eye contact is at, what I'm doing with my hands. Like, you know, am I leaning over? Like, when people are leaning over, am I leaning over too? Things like that. Like, but this, the framework of this today, of this video, is really for the phone, okay? So let's focus on that today. We can talk more about in-person mirror match at a later time. The first of the 3 things I'm gonna share with you that you need to know, you need to understand DISC profiles, okay? This is a personality assessment that gives you an idea of who this person is and how they best will want to be communicated with, okay? And so let's kind of break this down. We'll put this up on the screen for you. DISC, DISC. The D, this is a dominant, aggressive personality type, okay? These people are just straight to the facts. They do not want to waste time. They really value competency. They don't want a lot of fluff. They don't want you to repeat back what they said. They just want you to tell them, hey, what are the answers to my questions? Can I go look at this home? What's the process? Take over, let me drive, right? Like, they are complete drivers. And so the way you make a high D, which is what we call this, a high D feel valued, and that you mirror match a high D, is just be really quick and to the point. Like, don't waste time. Don't put fluff into your conversation. Just be very factual and outcome driven. If you do that, and you're also confident, you're gonna be in great shape. A D really values competency, okay? So if you're competent and you're confident, they're gonna feel like you know what you're doing and they're gonna start to trust you, and that's where awesome things happen. So that's the D, okay? There's a very small percentage of people that are Ds. It's like 3 or 4%, and they're really easy to spot on the phone because they're super aggressive. They pick up the phone like, who is this? You know what I mean? That's a D. So I'm a 90-90, like I'm a super high D, and a lot of agents are. So they're easy to spot just because they're so aggressive by the way they answer the phone. So you can easily spot them and know exactly who you're talking to, then adjust how you're conversating with them, and you're gonna be in good shape and be in rapport. You'll have a mirror and match them successfully. That brings me to the I, okay? A high I is somebody that is kind of a social butterfly. These are people that love to talk. They love to be face to face with people. They love to hear themselves talk, okay? So a high I is going to feel best on the phone when you just listen to what they're saying, and you're easily gonna be able to spot a high I because it's gonna be really hard to get any words in. They're just gonna be like non-stop talking at you, and you're gonna be like, holy crap, what is going on here? This person's just like vomiting words at me. That's a high I. But again, like, this is really an easy personality type to mirror match, because you don't want to come back at that and just be the same version of what they are. You actually just want to shut up and listen, and when they give you a little gap of time where there's some silence on the phone, there won't be many, but when there are, grab that silent opportunity and ask a great question. and then be ready for like a 5 to 10 minute response. Oftentimes when I'm talking to high I to set an appointment, these are like 25-minute phone calls because the person just does not want to stop talking. They want to tell me everything about everything, and that's fine. I just have to be patient and I have to be in the right mindset to have that conversation, knowing it's going to take a while. So that's a high I. 10-11% of people are high I's. Again, very easy to spot on the phone because they just talk nonstop, okay? But if you just listen, and then we get an opportunity, ask a great question, and then listen again, you're going to be in really, really good shape. That brings me to the S. The S is the stable, like very consistent, great worker kind of person, okay? These are people that are going to work at Costco for like 30 years, and they just value stability. They tend to be kind of cautious people, like they don't like a lot of change. So a lot of people are high S. It's like 67% of people, like 67 to 70%. So a lot of times you're going to be talking to high S's, and you got to be able to make these people feel comfortable. When you're talking to them on the phone, it's not that easy to spot because they're just kind of reserved. They're like, hello, and you're like, hey, I'm calling from the Novak real estate team. I want to find out if you're thinking about buying a home. And they're like, well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe in like a year. Like they're just unsure, like they're skittish, right? So how do you make this person feel valued and feel heard? And how do you mirror match this? Well, you want to slow down how fast you're talking, first of all. You don't want to throw them any curveballs, and you want to get really clear on what they should expect as they go through this home buying process. Because again, they don't like instability, they don't like change, so you got to really make sure you lay out the groundwork for them on what this process is going to look like if they're buying or selling a house, so they can plan for it, because these people are planners for sure, okay? Don't be super aggressive on the phone, don't talk nonstop. Try to ask them great questions and get them talking. If they start talking more, that's going to be really good for you. So really likely you're going to run into S's on the phone. If they're not really aggressive, meaning they're not a D. If they're not talking your ear off, meaning they're on an I, odds are they're probably going to be an S. That brings me to the last one, the C. The C is an analyzer, an analytical person, okay? This is somebody that's going to value facts, figures, data, things like that. Listen, if I'm talking to a high C, they tend to ask me questions like, what is the market doing right now? Like, what's the rate of appreciation of the last 6 months? What's the price per square foot in Snohomish, like a city, right? Things like that. Like, they want details, facts. They don't want to just go off the cuff. They want to know details. And so if you're talking to a high C, you just need to be really data driven. Like, you need to just know your market, know your stats, and be able to give them some facts and figures that are going to make them feel like you're competent in what you're doing, okay? And the C, again, it's just really easy to spot because they ask you like number-based questions all the time. And they may send you like a spreadsheet breaking down what they're looking for in a home, or they might send you a spreadsheet breaking down their entire house that they want to sell and the pros and cons of each area of the house, things like that. All things I've gotten from clients. And I get it, because I'm a high C too. Like, I love thinking about the data behind things. But you just need to be able to recognize this personality and adjust to it. If you are really bad with facts and figures and data, you're going to struggle making a high C feel like you're in rapport, okay? So just be aware of it, study your market, know your facts. Okay, so, back to mirror and match. Like, I went really deep on DISC. That was the first thing I wanted to cover with you. The second thing I want to cover with you was tonality. So your tonality matters big time, and you want to match this really closely. Like, if someone is talking pretty aggressively at you, go ahead and be aggressive back with them. If they're like, who is this? You're like, it's Mike Novak. Cool, now we're in rapport, right? If you're like, it's Mike Novak, you come off like a little mouse, that ain't gonna be good for you, okay? So tonality is super important. Just match how that person is talking, right? And it's not that you're changing who you are, you're just adjusting the way you're saying things to make them feel heard, and to, like, people love themselves, and so it makes them feel like they're talking to themselves, which makes people feel really good. So tonality is really, really important. Look at how people are talking and then how they are saying things, because the way that people say things can be completely different if you change the tone. If I say, hey, grab me the spoon, versus, hey, grab me the spoon, those are two different tonalities, right? Like, they each carry with them a totally different kind of understanding of what this person is or how they are going to communicate. You have to be able to adjust to that, okay? And I'm not saying like be a jerk to the person on the phone. I'm just saying adjust to how they're talking so that it's right back to them the same way. That brings me to number 3. Your rate of speech matters mightily when you're talking to people. A lot of high S's, they're going to talk really slow and really think about what they are saying. You got to match that. If someone's talking that slow, then you're like, yeah, I'm really excited to sell you a house. Can't wait to get you in here to do a buyer consultation and show you all about the market and how to buy a house. Like, you can't talk fast like that. You got to like really slow it down and match their rate of speed, okay? So whatever they're doing for rate of speech, just be aware of it and then match that yourself, okay? So these are the 3 big things I want you to focus on your phone calls. I promise you, if you apply these 3 and you consciously work on building your skill set to develop these, you're going to have many more appointments and therefore many more closings. But too often, people are just getting on the phone and they're not thinking about this stuff at all. They just, they hop on and they just are themselves. And unfortunately, that's not good enough to really set the most amount of appointments and optimize your conversion. Bonus point I just want to throw out there for you, no matter which personality type you're talking to, you will benefit from really being an active listener. You do not want to be the one doing the bulk of the talking. It's just like an interview. Like if you're interviewing somebody, you want the interviewee to be talking 80% of the time. You want to be asking good questions, but then you want them to be talking, okay? Same thing with lead conversion. I want to ask a very, very great question. Like let's say I want to say, what's got you thinking about making a move? And then I want to shut up and I want to let them respond back. When they respond back, I want to ask 2 or 3 great clarifying questions to what they told me, okay? We call this the 3 deep concept. Like we want to go 3 questions deep on everything they tell us to better understand exactly what they're saying. When people feel like you are listening, that is really, really powerful. So don't talk all the time on the phone. Talk like 20% of the time at the most and let them do the bulk of talking. When they do the bulk of talking, they're going to get off that phone call and feel really, really good about you because you were listening. It makes people feel awesome, okay? So bonus tip for you. If you got questions about this, of course, reach out to me. All my contact information is down below. If you're considering real brokerage, I want to have a conversation with you and share with you exactly what our journey was and how this has been such a big success for our business and our family.